just didn't pay it. That's just telling the truth.
Because he knew I had a valid driver's license and I could drive and he couldn't.
She never intended on giving me the title.
I went to his church and I had the police to meet me there and I had the title, registration, and the insurance card.
I learned that you can't trust everybody.
This is a lesson learned. Do not sign for anything unless you check out all the facts.
Sarah and Judy.
Okay, I just have a little bone to pick with your analogy of, I understand the analogy that you made between driving drunk and covering for someone who's unable to drive under the law for having a DUI or, something of that nature. But when you liken it to parking tickets, I understand under the law equally that person would be unable to register a car for those two reasons. But I feel like with a DWI, you're making an active choice to get behind the wheel when you know that you're drunk and you're endangering the lives of others. With parking tickets, there's a lot of factors, socioeconomic factors, that play into why someone might not be able to afford their parking tickets. Now, before you get to the counterpoint of he bought 2 more cars after that, I'm not saying that this situation warrants my counterpoint, but I do think that it's something to consider, is that a DWI is something very serious, that you're taking an active role in your own criminal behavior.
You're
endangering others.
You're endangering others. I would agree with you. When you come into a court of law and equity, equity means you want a fair result to happen. So you're sort of throwing yourself on the court and saying, I want you to do justice. And before you do that, you're supposed to come in with...
clean hands.
Right. And he clearly couldn't do that because the whole scheme with the car is to avoid personal responsibility, paying your tickets so that you can have a car, so that you don't park next to a fire hydrant in a handicap spot, in a fire zone. You're not supposed to do that. That also places people at risk, but not in the same way as drunk driving. But it's...
I understood the analogy.
You're not supposed to, not here anyway, break the law and then come into court and ask for my help in equity when you've broken the rules.
The same court you're defrauding.
Yep. And she was really a co-conspirator.
I don't even think she realized until you said it 3 times.
No, I don't think she realized. She realized it either. I'm not sure. She was supposed to be a church member or whatever, a friend. I'm not so sure that there wasn't a little bit more there. I don't know. I don't know. But I certainly wouldn't, for anyone, put a car in my name and be responsible for it and let you drive if you have a history of being irresponsible.
You wouldn't even do that for me, I don't think.
No, you don't have to think about that. I would not do that for you.
Thing.
I wouldn't put a car in my name for you.
Title, Judy Justice.
Want justice? Go to judyjustice.tv.
She stole the keys to your car and your car.
Correct.
I was out for maybe less than 2 minutes.
I had noticeable issues and got worse and worse, and I had to get it towed.
Because the way he drives, there's videos of how he drives.
Dash cam footage of a speeding vehicle.
What an idiot.
This is Judy Justice. Sean Spencer is suing his friend, Sierra Coya, for engine damage after Sierra drove his sports car without permission.
Court come to order. All rise.
Judge Judy.
Have a seat, please.
Kevin approaches the bench.
Case 3099, Spencer versus Coya.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Mr. Spencer, how old are you?
19.
Who is this?
This is the person who evaluated my car, the mechanic.
How old are you?
I'm 18, Your Honor.
This is your claim, Mr. Spencer. Your claim is that the defendant took your car without your permission and for sort of a little test drive or a joyride, and she blew the engine on the car. That's your claim. Correct. The defendant said it's absolutely not true. She didn't do anything to the car. She does acknowledge that she took it for a test drive. She said, I did nothing to the car. The car was perfectly fine when I brought it back.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, so tell me on what date you were hanging out and your car was taken by the defendant.
It was September 28th, Your Honor.
What kind of car is it?
It's a 2013 Scion FRS, 2-seater sports car.
So the car is 11 years old?
Correct.
How long have you had it?
I've had it since May 25th.
Of this year?
Correct. Or, yeah, 2023.
Who'd you buy it from?
I bought it from a neighbor.
How many miles does it have on it now?
It has 140,000 miles.
How much did you pay for the car?
I paid $12,000.
You paid $12,000 for a car that had 140,000 miles on it?
Correct. It's a sports car.
Okay. Where'd you get the $12,000 from?
Some of it's through a loan through my mother, and the rest was in cash.
Where'd you get the cash from?
Jobs or...
So you saved up.
Correct.
Okay. So tell me what happened in September.
So it's September 28th. We were all hanging out for a couple of hours.
Where?
This is up in Palmdale, just off 49th Street, at a friend.
Where were you? At a friend?
Yeah. It was one of the friends that we were hanging out with.
Okay, how many people were there?
5 of them, me make 6, so 6 total. My girlfriend's birthday was the following day, so we were gonna hang out throughout the night up until midnight.
What time had you gotten to your friend's house?
Roughly like 4 p.m., 5 p.m. Dinner
What time did you get there?
I got around 3 p.m.
Okay, now tell me what happened with the car.
We were all hanging out in her room at the place in Palmdale. My keys...
Your friend's room?
Yes, correct. My keys as well as wallet and phone were all on a desk. We're gonna head down to Canyon Country, Santa Clarita, and just before leaving, the defendant had punched me in my stomach and kicked me, ran off, stole the keys, and then...
Out of nowhere, she came and she punched you in the stomach and kicked you where?
Like, just somewhere like in the side. I was on a bed, and then she had hit me, and I turned over, and she had kicked me, and then ran off.
You mean from nothing? You didn't have any incident with her?
No, not at all.
So...
She's rather physical and has been in previous... We've hung
Physical
out before.
how?
Just punching, hitting, pinching.
You're talking about playfully.
Not
Because
necessarily.
otherwise you wouldn't hang out with her.
I don't necessarily like to, but it's a friend group that everyone else I enjoy being around. So I kind of just sort of deal with it, if you will.
So now she's punched you in the side and kicked you.
Mm-hmm.
And then what?
She then proceeded to take my keys and run out of the house. By this time, 3 others were out of the bedroom and starting to get out of the house.
Just a second. So you were alone with her on the bed?
So we were all getting ready to leave. 3 people had already left the room. What was left in the room was me, my girlfriend, and the defendant.
Mm-hmm.
Then...
And where were you all?
I was on the bed, and my girlfriend was on the bed. She was standing just in front.
And?
And then she proceeded to hit me, kick me.
So what you're telling me is she leaned over, she punched you, and then got her foot up and kicked you someplace.
Yeah.
Got her foot up over the bed and kicked you.
It was like hip level.
I think I believe that.
Judy glares at Sean.
I don't.
Whitney grins.
And then she took your keys and ran out of the house.
Correct, she ran out of the house.
Okay, now, tell me how you got the keys to the car.
He had them laying on the desk. We were all just messing around. I didn't hit him or kick him.
Would you just tell me, don't tell me what you didn't do. Tell me what you did.
I grabbed his keys and I went out of the house.
So when you say you grabbed his keys and went out of the house, you took the car without permission.
Yes, I did.
Why?
It's like it was a sports car, so it was like I wanted like an experience of like driving it. It was supposed to be as a joke. I didn't mean it in a harmful way.
I don't think you meant it in a harmful way. But you took the car without permission.
Yes, and I apologized for it, and he said it was okay and forgave me.
When did you apologize?
Directly after I took his keys and took the car.
When you brought it back?
Yes.
Okay, so you didn't apologize before you took it. You took it and it was about what time?
9 p.m.
Okay, 9 p.m. And you've been hanging around for a while. So you've been hanging around since 3, so you were there between 5 and 6 hours.
Yes.
Anybody doing any drinking?
No.
Anybody doing any smoking?
Nicotine, yes.
Okay, but nothing other than that?
No.
Okay, so now it's 6 hours later, and you took the car. Where did you go with the car?
Up and down the street. I did not leave the neighborhood. I was out for maybe less than 2 minutes.
Did you hit anything when you
No.
traveled?
No, not at all.
Okay, and when you came back, he must have been annoyed.
Yes, he was.
Okay, so he's waiting for you outside.
Yes.
Now, Mr. Spencer, she took your keys. She acknowledges she took your keys without your permission. You went following outside after her, I assume.
By the time I was making it outside, she had started the car and started to back out.
Okay, so you were there, just a second, so you were there when she backed out of the driveway.
I was there as she had stopped getting out of the driveway and she was going forward.
She was in the process of taking your car, not returning it.
Correct.
In effect, she stole the keys to your car and your car.
Correct.
Okay, so now you're standing out in front of the house, in front of your friend's house, waiting for her to come back.
Correct.
How long were you standing there waiting for her to come back?
It was roughly
Careful.
3 minutes.
3 minutes.
Correct.
So she didn't go very far.
No.
Now, did you see the car?
When
It's
she
not
was-
an answer.
Sorry.
You saw her pull away with the car.
For the first 200 feet until she turned onto a new street.
200 feet you saw. And then you saw 200 feet when she was coming back, because she
Correct.
was out for 3 minutes. So you just stood there. So she didn't go, maybe she went around the block once.
Right.
Okay. And then she brought the car back. And what did she say when she got out of the car? She says she apologized to you.
Yeah, I was infuriated with the fact that she had taken the car because it wasn't the first time she had tried to do this. This was just the final time that she finally went through with it. And then when she had come, she had said, like, I'm sorry, this and that, because she could tell I was really mad. And at the time, I was just like, it's okay, because the next day was my girlfriend's birthday. I was trying to not keep the mood down.